Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, once again as per your respective time zone. On behalf of entire managed services team of Mastek, would like to welcome you all to this 23C Global Human Resource Advisory webinar session. This important session is to keep you fully synchronized with the new features and functionalities as a part of this quarter release that Oracle provides. My name is Hardik Patel. I'm an operations manager at Mastek Managed Services team here. Today, I'm your host for this session. I'm glad to introduce my colleague. His name is Paolo Salandri, who is part of our vast HCM team at Mastek. Today, he'll take us through all the global human resource updates for our 23C quarter release. Today's session is planned for around 45 to 60 minutes max. We'll make sure that we also spare some time to answer any questions you may have. Before we move to the agenda, let's have a quick look at the important disclaimer. We'd like to convey your approach towards Oracle updates in a very simpler method. We'll be taking you through vital analysis for the 23 updates done by our experts, which will help you incorporating new features and updates easily into your system. We'll also sync you on any bugs or known issues if there are any. It's good to have an interactive session, so please do ask questions through chat or questions panel, which you can see on the screen. We have panelists added to available from the HCM team itself. He'll be happy to answer any questions you may have, and also we will reach out if we miss anything during the session without fail. So this is to give you a glimpse on how we have crafted the structure of this session. So first thing what you see is a list of features, new features coming into 23C. The detailing on features, so you get brief understanding on what are all new features about. And the next one is are the business benefits, an important takeaway for you as a decision maker. There are 4 components where we have done in-depth analysis of the features which we're going to present to you today. The first one is impact level analysis, which demonstrates the impact on the end user. If it's a low impact, then regression testing can be avoided. If it's a high impact, then we need to opt for regression testing. And the second one, which is we all are aware that there are some features which are by default auto-enabled by Oracle, and there are some which we need to opt for. The third one highlights the nature of the feature, which there would be certain configuration which may be required and some can be used without any changes. And last one, which is a quick win. This term we simply use to convey that what is ready to use by investing minimum amount of time and what requires significant amount of time and efforts to make use of this feature. So we won't take more, and I'll just immediately hand it over to my colleague. He'll be taking you through today's session. Thank you everybody for joining today. Paulo, please unmute yourself and stage is all yours. Thank you.
Yes, Harit, thank you. And hello team. Hi everyone. So this is Balu Salandri. I am here to take you through the new features that are released as a part of 23C in a global human resource. Okay. So coming to our analysis, as a part of 23C release, we have 13 new features coming up in global HR, out of which 2 are in common, and basically we have 8 such features which are quick wins. With you can take them away without any configurations or testing. They are defaultly available with this upgrade. Okay, and 2 are into opt-ins, wherein you can decide whether you need to opt in for it or not. Or 3 goes into rest, okay, wherein you have to do little bit of testing and configurations if required, and then decide to use it or not. So moving further, let us first start with the quick wins, which are default with no configurations. Okay, so first feature comes up in the area of responsibility. Here the feature is introducing areas of responsibility usage. Now there are 2 things that are being released with this in 23C. First is usage in area of responsibility, and the second is eliminate the need to include in worker contacts for journey and task performers. Let us talk about usage in area of responsibility first. You can utilize this feature to uh, to decide whether an area of responsibility should be used in approvals or journeys or both, or not in any of these. Okay, and basically you need to create an AR with a specific purpose and select an appropriate setting for them while you create an area of responsibility template. Okay, or you assign an area of responsibility to an individual. This enhancement currently supports usage for HCM approvals and journeys. Okay, the HCM data security evaluates and applies to all ARs regardless of usage setting. Okay. Let us go through a few examples for the usage setting. Okay. So here are a few examples. If we look at the first scenario, the recruiting representative are intended for use in journeys. Okay, they are process owners, but not in HCM approvals. In such a case, we can go with usage setting as checklist only and not the approval. And the second scenario wherein, despite not implementing journeys, a HR representative approves termination transaction. In such cases, we can select the usage as approval. Okay. The third is access is restricted based on employee position. Employees with this type of AR responsibility are not involved with checklist tasks or approvals. In such case, we need not select the usage as checklist or approval, be it blank. Okay. And the fourth scenario is the learning evaluator must access people in specific job to evaluate the rate and rate their learning objectives. In this case also, they are not into checklist nor into approvals, right? So we can keep this as blank. And lastly, the HR representative is a journey process owner, also approves employment transaction. In such case, checklist and approvals both can be checked in as a usage setting. Okay, so you can specify the usage in any of these sections: basic information section of area of responsibility or individual representative AR. Now a multi-select usage LOV list of value now captures the purpose of responsibility when assigned to a person. The same values will be defaulted on the person level responsibility as well. As you can see, here is a multi-level select usage LOV. Okay, so you can also find the usage of basic information, usage in the basic information section here of the representatives AR. If you create an AR from the template, the usage setting defaults from the associated responsibility templates. Okay. And area of responsibility templates homepage offers an additional filtering option for the usage attribute that you can use to find which responsibility templates are designated for checklist or approvals or both. Okay. And coming to the second feature, eliminating the need to enable work contact for journey users. Starting with this release, you don't have to enable the include in worker contacts option as a journey user unless the representative is truly a contact. During checklist allocation, the individual with the selected responsibilities are identified and designated as a task performers or owners, regardless of the work contacts flag. Journey users must specify usage as checklist. Furthermore, you can disable the include in work contacts option if a representative shouldn't be listed in connections, directory, person spotlight, or employment and benefits transaction. So takeaway for you here is the business usage attribute improves performance as it enables users to send the appropriate approvals and checklist related AOs to approvals and journeys respectively. Okay. And the second is removing the include in worker context constraints eliminates any confusion as to why certain representatives appear in a connections. Okay. And moving to the next feature, we have it in document of records area. A tag to support document type classification and grouping. Now a tag is introduced which you can make use of new tag attribute to classify and group document types during creation and editing. So here are few delivered list of values that we have as employment identification and legal. However, you can add additional values to the user lookup, which is the type ORA per doc type tags. Additional list of values can be added using this profile value. Okay. Tags will be available on the Redwood document records landing page to filter records in a further release. Additionally, tags will be available as a read-only field when you add, view, edit, or delete a document record using Redwood pages in a future release. Okay. Business benefit of this feature is it allows you to classify and group related document types under the same tag for higher level reporting as well as filtering the document records landing page on the landing page. Next feature is document records multiple occurrence check for a document record at assignment level. Okay. When creating a document of records, the multiple occurrence check is done at the assignment level now and not on the person level. Earlier we used to have it on the person level only. Now it has been introduced on assignment level as well. This allows users to create a document record per assignment when the allow multiple occurrence flag is set to no. Okay, and the document type level is assignment. Business benefit out of it is with this feature you can now create one document record per assignment instead of one document record per person when document type level is assignment. Next feature comes up in journeys. Control the send reminder action for journey tasks. Now you will be able to decide whether to send a reminder to for a specific task to the users or not. By default, value for action is show. However, you can control the display of action by selecting hide on the task setup page when configuring checklist templates. Here we can see send reminder action is set to hide for owner, line manager, and other users. Here it is. And task name is review campus maps and directions. Okay. Moving to the next screen. When you select this particular task in the list of tasks, you will be able to see that send reminder action is not enabled, though this particular task is selected. Okay. Additionally, when multiple tasks are selected, let's say you have selected, as per the screen, your user has selected 4 tasks, out of which for this particular screen, send reminder option was set to hide. So send reminder will give only those number of tasks for which send reminders can be sent. Okay. The business benefit is this feature provides users from sending multiple, prevents user from sending multiple reminders to the task performers. Okay. The next feature is in Redwood Experience approval support for transactions initiated from Redwood pages. As we all know, we have Redwood Experience introduced from past few releases. Okay. Now, for all these pages, we have Redwood Experience on employment contracts, eligible jobs, position, and shared data access. From here on, uh, approvals are also supported on these pages. Okay, you can either bypass approvals or configure rules for approval. If there is a rule already configured for these flows earlier, then the same will be applicable for Redwood pages as well. So there are several other actions and that are being considered, which are in roadmap. The business benefit is this feature provides the ability to route transactions for approvals. Another feature is with the Redwood experience only enhancements to shared data access. So shared data access was one of the feature which was released in recent past releases. Okay, now we have few enhancements on these shared data access page as well. This page layout has been changed. A photo of the recipient is displayed if available. Okay, and the recipient details are displayed in a section that can be expanded or collapsed this way. Okay. Shared data access with recipient data collapsed, showing new expiration date field. We also have a new expiration date, but don't expect this date to be working like to revoke the access. Access will not be revoked even if the expiration date is reached. it is only for reporting purpose, and you can revoke the access manually only. So when the recipient details are expanded, you see the additional details about the recipient, okay, and the notes about the shared data access. So what does exactly notes and comments are for? When the edit action is also available, and when you edit the access date, so user will be able to give the notes and comments. Comments are only for approval purpose, so that they can view and approve if there are any approvals for this transaction. And notes are uh, for the details why, as to why the edit it was edited, access was edited. Okay, as we can see, there was a transfer that had to happen on April 10th, and it was postponed to 15th. So these notes remain, and whenever we can see this share data access for this particular person, then we'll get to know that it was postponed, and that is why the access was also extended. Okay. Now let us go through quick win, which are opt-ins. So first opt-in feature is into journeys, where a control search on assigned journeys tab is available now. Like usually we have the option to search for the journey either with the employee name or a journey name, right? So now this can be controlled, and you can set the profile value to search the journeys only based on person name. Okay, uh, and, and the profile option is Oracle journey search criteria. This has to be set to person name only. Okay, business benefit is this feature improves the search performance for assigned journeys page. So this is a quick win. We need to enable the profile value, and impact level is low. Okay, moving on to next feature, Redwood experience for pending workers. Okay, now we have, and Oracle has enriched the user experience with the new pending worker dashboard developed using the Redwood toolset, okay, to give a unique experience of the Oracle applications. You can search for the pending workers based on the name or person number. You can also sort the search results based on the name and plan start dates. Okay. Now, let's say human resource specialists and line managers can also do the following using this dashboard. They can add a pending worker by just clicking on add button. They will be able to add the pending worker on this page and convert the pending worker to convert a single pending worker. User will have to click on this ellipsis for that row. On that row, the convert pending worker page is displayed, where you can update the fields as required before converting the pending worker. You can also select one or more pending workers and click quick convert to convert them into employees. As we have a quick convert option here, and edit a pending worker, click a pending worker's name to open the edit pending worker page. On this page, you can select the edit different types of information for the worker, and you can also perform all these transactions, like the same transactions, quick convert, include in auto conversion, exclude in auto conversion, as we used to do it earlier. And the profile option has to be enabled if you want to use the new pending workers page with the Redwood experience. Okay. Or HCM VBS PW enabled is a profile option that needs to be enabled. In addition, check if this profile value or up at PWK dashboard Redwood enable profile option is also enabled. By default, this Redwood enable profile option is delivered as disabled. If you want to use the new pending worker page, you need to set the profile option to yes. Okay. There are few tips and considerations that you need to be aware of before deciding whether to use this pending worker page or not. Basically, these are few transaction areas where the Redwood page is still not supported. Okay. Transaction Design Studio. If you have any customizations or changes made on pending worker page using Transaction Design Studio, then it is not suggested to use this page as of now. Okay. Even for the autocomplete rules, this page doesn't support now. So if there are any rules that you have built for validation or anything using autocomplete rules, it is suggested not to go with pending worker page as of now. Okay. Filtering of records is also not supported. Also, the edit pending worker, add pending worker, convert pending worker, cancel work relationship, and employment start dates. All these transactions, when you perform these transactions, these pages will take you to the same old pages and not to new Redwood pages. Okay. Next features are of REST category, okay, wherein you need to perform configurations and or testing or both. Okay. This is one of the good features I can say now, which is released and would be more useful for SA legislation or legislative organizations. You can now default the HG date of birth for a person in Saudi legal employer using a delivered rule for the person business object. Okay. Based on the value entered in date of birth field, it will auto-populate the HG date of birth. The rule name is SA default HG date based on date of birth, and it is a field modification rule type. Okay, if we can closely look at this rule now, it is a field modification rule type and business object is person. A field is date of birth, and this would trigger if based on the legislation code and the type of transaction that is being performed, either adding an employee, contingent worker, a pending worker, or a non-worker. So if copied and activated, this rule is triggered for the following new person flows in Saudi Arabia legal employers. Okay, hire, add contingent worker, pending worker, and non-worker, as we have already discussed. Once you have entered the person's date of birth and you move from the personal details section or either to another section or to submit the record, each date of birth field is populated in DDMM YYY format, and this can also be changed as per your requirement. The format can be changed. The HG date is calculated using the Arkel global function based on Kumalkura calendar. Okay. You can all the business benefit is you can use this rule to default the HG date of birth based on the date of birth field entered when a new person is added for a Saudi legislation. Also, a point to note. Adding this rule will not update the existing employees' date of birth fields. I mean, Hijri date of birth for the existing employees. So we have another feature in the autocomplete rule for person business object. Same rule, you can subject to approvals from Oracle. You can use the delivered rule as a template to create other rules. The same rule which I have seen for Saudi legislation can be used for other rules for use with the new person flows listed above. Uh, so it can be used for defaulting the Hijri date, higher date of birth, Hijri high date, and termination date, visa issue date, and visa expiration date. These are all about the parameters that we give. The parameters are the value for Gregorian to higher date and the source date of the Gregorian format to pass the date. Okay, and the required format of Hijri date, and the all other values parameters will be passed as null in this template where we have looked at the rule autocomplete rule. Okay, then the other feature is into position management, route position approvals to AR of the parent position incumbent. Yeah, this is one another good feature which we are looking for. So now we'll be able to route the approvals to the parent position's incumbent AOR. Okay, using this feature, the approvals can now be routed to representatives of the incumbent of the parent position of this process. Um, for the following process: request new position, request position change, edit position, and delete date effective position record. How do position approvals work is, earlier we had only position approvals to the incumbents in the parent position and to the initiators hierarchy only. Now that you can also route position approvals to the representative of the incumbent of the parent position, provided you have a parent position hierarchy in the system. Okay, I mean position hierarchies. Business benefit is this feature enables you to route approvals to the appropriate people who should actually approve the position. Okay, this is how we configure it. Suppose you want to route the request new position approval to the representative of the incumbent of the parent position. While configuring the approval rule for the request new position process, we need to select the following: representative in the approvers list, okay, representative type here, okay, and identified parent position incumbents representative should be selected in representative of. That's how we configure, and it will be routed accordingly. Next feature is on work patterns and scheduling. Okay, shift and work patterns for workforce scheduling. Now you can create and manage shifts and work patterns, which will form the basis for building staff schedules in Oracle HCM. Okay, to identify the shift framework for a worker at a time of hire or employment or assignment changes, create a work pattern for the work assignment. Shifts can have specific start and end times or durations for specific days, or they can be flexible as well. So this framework is used to determine the worker's actual schedule. Here we have an example for the same, where for week 1, Chris can work for Monday, Wednesday and Friday for 4 hours between 6 a.m. and noon, and Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday between noon and 8 p.m. All the shifts include 15 minutes break that Chris can take anytime during the shift. Okay, and again for week 2, Chris can work for 6 hours between 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, and he can take a 15-minute coffee break between noon and 3 p.m. and a 30-minute meal break between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. So it all depends on the time, the requirement that you have for creating a work pattern and schedules. Okay, so people managing work patterns need the manage work pattern role code. Okay, this role is part of deliver line manager and human resource specialist. You need to add it to any similar custom roles you have already created. And people managing shifts, these need these two privileges of manage shift privilege code and view shifts privilege code. The business benefit is this feature lets you create and manage shifts and work patterns that form the basis for staff schedules. Okay, now coming to the common features. Now employment, it is into employments, rest support for override standard working hours in work assignment. Like you can use the workers rest resource to update the assignment standard working hours and assignment standard frequency. When populated, these attributes are used for FTE calculation instead of derived standard working hours. To take an example, if the standard working hours derived from any of the work structure object is 40 weekly, and you specify the assignment standard working hours as 50, the assignment standard working hours will be taken into consideration, which is on assignment, okay, for calculating adjusted FTE. The business benefit of this is this feature gives you the ability to change the standard working hours based on the requirement and control the FTE calculation as well. Okay. Another common feature is also into employment only, REST support for adjusted FT in worker assignment. Sorry. So you can use the worker REST resources again to update the annual working duration, standard annual working duration unit, annual working ratio, and adjusted FT. These attributes are used to adjust the full-time equivalent value, that is FT, on the assignment. The adjusted FT is calculated by multiplying the FT value with the ratio of annual working duration and standard annual working duration. So the annual working duration and standard annual working duration are editable attributes, and this hierarchy is used to default these attribute values. Like if you have these values on position, then that would be considered. If not, then to job. Similarly, goes with location, department, and legal entity and enterprise in that order, if a value is specified. And one more thing is, whenever a value for annual working duration or standard annual working duration and its unit are updated using work resource as well, FT will be automatically calculated. Okay. This features enables you to manage an additional adjusted FT value at assignment level, thereby giving you more flexibility to manage your statutory FT requirements. Okay. So I think we are to the end of our session. So I'd like to thank Aditya Goswami if for helping me out if there were any questions on the chat. And yes, over to you, Hardik. Thank you, team. Thanks for bearing me all this time.
Hi, Bello. Thank you for the wonderful insights. Meanwhile, can you check, Aditya, if you have any questions? Any?
No, there are no questions.
There are no questions. Okay, no problem at all. Let's have a quick look at the upcoming sessions. We have workforce management coming in tomorrow, then benefits and compensation 13th July. Then next week we have finance, supply chain, talent management. So please do pass message to your colleagues if they would like to be part of it and would like to register. Please do look out for an email. We will send you, so in a couple of 2 to 4 days time, sorry, you'll receive an email wherein you'll see the presentation PDF and the recording of this session as well. And also you'll find a test scripts. All these things will be available to you at a single click from your email. So please do look out for that email. And if you do have any questions, please reach out to the support manager, service manager, any dedicated questions or a small session required, anything at all, please do reach out to the respective support manager or service manager. And before you all leave us, just very quick feedback we would like from you on how we did on today's session. Please rate the overall experience of today's session, 1 being lowest, 5 being highest. Your feedback will help us improving. Thank you so much. With the poll answers, we'll be closing today's session. So we'd like to, meanwhile, thank you everybody for your valuable time today. And we'll be sending you the email as mentioned earlier with the test scripts, presentation, PDF, and the recording of this session. Thank you so much. And I'll be closing the poll now. Thank you. Thank you once again.